Fabian.
Kabekkelan.
Virtuosity.
Some children know the words, but with the pressure to spell it right, they spell it wrong.
Polgue. Polgue. Intellect.
Your word is correct.
One letter could change a life.
Doesn't matter how old you are, you still can be a champion.
One show will leave the whole family spelling for literacy and spelling for fun. The East African Spelling Bee, coming soon. Brought to you by Mama TV. Latest ones.
The word is day.
Omukyalo nakutudde kumpi bwati omumanyi
namumananga
taata ansa kyeyo ati namumananga
ati mperano eriyo
tokyamujjukira oba masoga
ekibaawo mu kiseera ekyo wekiba kyabitwako ekintu ekiri mu past tense toyinza akiza mu present tense.
ddaba abaali baagalana essaawa zino omuntu laga nti namumanyako nali mumanyi.
Ono bw'aba yafuluma mu maka gange azimba amaka ge n'alonda buli keyamana ati kake
netukeera ku makya netufunayo ka breakfast. Wetwafunyeyo ka breakfast kale yabadde ewooma kozi kye yabadde mulungi then naye ekintu ekiriwo ng'ekyawadde ekyamaanyi amagi ge yatufumbidde gabadde just ayina ebintu like gabadde omunnyo like side ate nga wamu teguliyo bulungi ndowooza tegakubye bulungi naye nga gabadde malungi naye nze tebyangendedde.
Fabian. Kabekkelan.
Virtuosity.
Some children know the words, but with the pressure to spell it right, they spell it wrong.
Polgue. Polgue. Intellect.
Your word is correct.
One letter could change a life.
Doesn't matter how old you are, you still can be a champion.
One show will leave the whole family spelling for literacy and spelling for fun. The East African Spelling Bee, coming soon. Brought to you by Mama TV. Latest ones.
The word is day.
Omukyalo nakutudde kumpi bwati omumanyi
namumananga
taata ansa kyeyo ati namumananga
ati mperano eriyo
tokyamujjukira oba masoga
ekibaawo mu kiseera ekyo wekiba kyabitwako ekintu ekiri mu past tense toyinza akiza mu present tense.
ddaba abaali baagalana essaawa zino omuntu laga nti namumanyako nali mumanyi.
Ono bw'aba yafuluma mu maka gange azimba amaka ge n'alonda buli keyamana ati kake
netukeera ku makya netufunayo ka breakfast. We twafunyeyo ka breakfast kale yabadde ewooma kozi kye yabadde mulungi then naye ekintu ekiriwo ng'ekyawadde ekyamaanyi amagi ge yatufumbidde gabadde just ayina ebintu like gabadde omunnyo like side ate nga wamu teguliyo bulungi ndowooza tegakubye bulungi naye nga gabadde malungi naye nze tebyangendedde.
Endelea kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu. Mama TV tugabane twagalane.
Siba kweno yeriko byonna tugabane twagalane. Mama TV yeriko byonna elage bino nebizimbe biri obw'emyoyo elaga mawanga Afrika yona yona. Endelea
kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu.
Endelea
kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu.
Mama TV twende basi. Emikutu jona jona tuliyo buliyoja mweza limoti tolobamu wataba kugula.
On YouTube Mama TV Uganda, on TikTok Mama TV Uganda, on Facebook it's Mama TV Uganda. Follow, like, comment. Follow,
like, comment. Tusange ku Star Times channel 243 eko free to air. Mama TV Uganda tugabane twagalane.
Kiki ekibaawo singa mukwano gwo amenya ekisuubizo? Kiki ekibaawo singa baliraanwa abo bafuna obutakkaanya ku ttaka ku kyalo kyabwe? Kale enkoko bwebula ku kyalo kyo.
Mama nakapande abasajja bayisa sikati omuntu abeera n'enagamba
ye mwennyini yakikozesa n'aba ku kyalo ne bategeera nti mukwaniza mama yesena tuli bakazi emyaka omunaana
oyo omwani abadde akwana nnyo era basinga baana
Kyola akwana nnyo
ate yatuzaala omuntu
bannange oddukira wa singa obwesigwa n'obwerufu bubula? Kale singa obujulizi buvaayo n'ebyama ne bibotolwa ku Mama TV program kooti y'abantu lindirira buli lwakubiri buli lwakusatu buli lwakuna
okuva saawa 2 paka saawa 4 ez'ekiro.
And welcome to the weekly roundup. My name is Patience Rehema. Today is the 7th November 2025. Happy new month. Make sure that you're watching us on our social media platforms, that is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and TikTok. And we are here just to give you the headline stories not only in East Africa but the world in general. Let's dive in. This week in Uganda's 2026 presidential campaign, President Yoweri Museveni maintained a low-profile approach focusing on stability and continuity while avoiding direct confrontations with opposition groups. In contrast, opposition leader Robert Chagulanyi energized supporters with rallies in Gomba, Butambala, Lira City and Sebambule, where he emphasized anti-corruption, national unity and public accountability. He criticized government efficiency, highlighting inflated costs for basic services and pledged to restore transparency. Now moving on, in Tanzania's 2025 general elections, President Samia Suluhu Hassan was re-elected with a landslide 97.66% of the vote, securing a second term alongside Vice President Emmanuel Nchimbi. The election was marred by controversy, which the African Union declaring it undemocratic due to ballot irregularities, foreign voter participation, and the exclusion of opposition parties like Chadema. Post-election unrest led to violent clashes, with opposition groups alleging mass killings, though the government denied the claims amid curfews and internet restrictions. Civil society and religious leaders called for peace, while international observers urged Tanzania to pursue urgent democratic reforms.
Tanzania's first female president, Samia Suluhu Hassan, is set to take the oath of office for the second time, but celebrations are muted. Tension and fear still grip much of the country. The main opposition party, Chadma, says at least 800 people were killed by security forces during protests following last week's election. President Hassan was declared the winner with 98% of the vote, after most opposition candidates were disqualified from running. I would also like to say that I have already voted, and I plead with all citizens, those at home, please come out and exercise your right to vote and elect the leaders you want. But the opposition has rejected the results, saying the election was neither free nor fair. Since the announcement, internet access has been cut off nationwide, with reports of police going door to door, arresting activists. Right groups and diplomats say hospitals are overwhelmed with casualties from the protests. Pope Leo XIV spoke on the current situation in Tanzania, urging for peace.
Preghiamo anche per la Tanzania.
Let us also pray for Tanzania, where after the recent political elections, clashes broke out, resulting in numerous victims. I invite everyone to avoid all forms of violence and walk the path of dialogue.
The United Nations says it's deeply concerned about the escalating violence and shrinking civic space. For President Samia Suluhu Hassan, who first rose to power in 2021 after the death of John Magufuli, the inauguration is meant to mark stability and continuity, but the unrest surrounding her re-election has cast a shadow over the historic milestone.
The United Nations Security Council recently backed Morocco's autonomy plan for Western Sahara, marking a significant shift in international support. The resolution led by the United States emphasized Morocco's proposal as and I quote, serious and credible basis for resolving the long-standing territorial dispute. This move was met with strong opposition from Algeria and the Polisario Front, who advocated for a referendum on independence. The decision has heightened regional tensions, with Algeria recalling its ambassador to the UN in protest.
Голосующих за проект резолюции, содержащийся в документе С 2025-692, поднять руку.
Mr. President, the United States welcomes today's historic vote. We urge all parties to use the coming weeks to come to the table, make every effort to facilitate progress towards this shared goal of peace and prosperity for the people of Western Sahara.
Moving on, Sudan is currently experiencing one of the world's worst displacement crises, with over 11.7 million people forced to flee their homes due to escalating conflict, particularly in North Darfur El Fasher region, since the Rapid Support Forces RSF seized control of the city in late October this year. More than 450,000 civilians have fled under dire conditions, many traveling over 1,200 kilometers without access to food, medical care, or transportation.
The siege that was laid by the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces on the city for the past 18 months. But in the past few days, there are displaced people who arrived here from the city of El Fasher following the takeover of the RSF to the city last Sunday. Now, El Fasher was the last remaining major army stronghold in the Darfur region, and the RSF has for months been attacking the city and stopping the delivery of humanitarian supplies and market supplies to those who've been living in the city. The United Nations...
At times, Al-Rashid Al-Tahir says he worried this moment might never happen. But his suffering is over. Separated by Sudan's war, he reunites with his family in a camp for the displaced in North Sudan. Not much is said, but his sister's tears speak volumes.
My family had been in Milit in North Darfur for 3 months. They left because of the bad situation in Al Fasher, and I couldn't find my family.
The reunion, though sweet, is incomplete.
When the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces took over the city. That was the army's last stronghold in the western Darfur region. His wife was killed in an RSF drone strike on the city days before. He says he and his children barely had time to mourn before they found themselves on the run from the paramilitary group.
The streets were full of dead bodies. We made it to one of the sand barriers set up by the RSF. They were shooting at people, men, women and children, with machine guns. We ran back and hid. I heard one saying, "Kill them all, leave no one alive." At night, I slowly crept out with my children and crossed the barrier. We walked to a village where someone...
Uganda's 2025 primary leaving examinations began with over 818,000 candidates sitting for their final papers across the country. The exams started with mathematics and English, followed by social studies and science. Despite improved distribution of exam papers on the second day, schools in flood-affected areas continue to struggle with access. The Uganda National Examinations Board reported incidents of attempted exam malpractice, including bribery of officials in districts like Oyam, where some head teachers and invigilators were arrested.
The 2025 PLE officially commences today, the 31st of October, with the briefing of candidates throughout the country, with the briefing taking place in the school premises. Just like the current examination going on, the UCE, the theme for this examination has been maintained as embracing security and holistic assessment of our learners in a dynamic environment. First of all, I want to, on behalf of the board and the secretariat of the board, to express our profound gratitude to the Uganda National Teachers Union, or NATU, for calling off their industrial action so that the teachers are available to participate in the important task of invigilation. It goes without saying that the primary leaving examination is the first national examination that our children take as they begin or as they start their journeys, their educational journeys. And the results of the PLE go a very long way in determining the educational future of the children. And so these results must be derived from a process that is fair and valid and reliable. So it is very important, therefore, that the management of the examination, including invigilation, is done by professionals, that is the teachers, to guarantee the fairness that I have mentioned. So I'm very glad that the leadership of ONATO and the membership of the union saw this naked fact, and also to realize that our failure to support the learners at this very critical stage of their educational journey would have impacted them in such a devastating manner that would have weighed very, very heavily on our conscience if we had not risen to the occasion to support them at this time. The candidature for this examination, we have 817,885 that have been registered.
Make sure that you are staying tuned for more headline stories that we have for you today here at the Weekly Roundup. Let's go on a short break. We'll be back for more.
Endelea kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu. Mama TV tugabane, twagalane.
Siba kwelo yeriko byonna tugabane twagalane. Mama TV yeriko byonna elage bino n'ebizimbe biri obw'emyoyo elaga mawanga Afrika yona yona endelea
kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu
endelea
kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu
Mama TV twende basi
emikutu jona jona tuliyo buliyoja mweza liboti tolobamu watama kukula
on YouTube Mama TV Uganda on TikTok Mama TV Uganda on Facebook it's Mama TV Uganda follow like comment follow
like comment tusange ku Star Times channel 243 ne ku free to air Mama TV Uganda tugabane twagalane
ababoneba Mama TV amena nerobozi aninze tap soja kabaka kakensa
kabaka mbadde manyomu nawe oli kabaka
sidi endonge
mudo wana setu kabaka
Sabontwanira kanabo kange mubutufu kamumpere ngenderayo eri omwana omungambire tinomfa
ngenderayo eri omwana omungambire tinomfa
era nfa
abarasika bagamba mboyimba lavu nego toyina la
ani yakyogera
like tula stories nyingi ngobera kuba abantu
bana kuitawo
Welcome back from the short commercial break, and we continue with the headline stories where on November 5th, 2025, the university's academic staff union, that is the UASU, alongside other unions representing university staff in Kenya, called off the nationwide strike following a deal with the government to pay 7.9 billion Kenya shillings in salary arrears owed under the 2017-2025 collecting bargain agreement. The agreement includes a two-phase payment plan with 3.8 billion Kenya shillings disbursed between November and December this year, and the remaining amount scheduled for June 2026. This resolution paves the way for the resumption of learning across public universities, bringing relief to thousands of students whose education had been disrupted.
The government and unions that represent lecturers and teaching staff in public universities, UASU and KUSU, have signed an agreement outlining payment of 7.9 billion shillings in two installments.
Kenya shillings 3.8 billion in November, but not later than 31st December 2025. Kenya shillings 3.8 billion in July 2026.
The government said it had already paid lecturers 200 million shillings and will honor its commitment to clear the balance. It also promised to immediately begin negotiations for the 2025-2029 CBA, alongside putting measures in place to prevent similar strikes in future.
We are going to have an interministerial
CBA implementation team so that we can be looking at how these CBAs that we've signed, whether they are being implemented as agreed.
All disciplinary letters and sanctions issued against lecturers who took part in the strike will be withdrawn unconditionally.
All disciplinary action commenced during the pendency of the industrial action shall be deemed withdrawn. For employees on contract, the renewal of their contract shall not be prejudiced by participation in the industrial action.
The Ministry of Education has announced that classes will resume on Monday and measures have been put in place to recover the time lost during the strike.
We've agreed that they will rearrange their programs and their calendar to ensure that the students will recover the time they've lost without it being a stress on the students or at any extra cost.
However, Waswa Nkusu have issued a stern warning to the government.
If you honor what we have signed today, there shall be no strike called by Waswa up to 2030. But if you don't honor this agreement, I'll call even a strike next week.
The strike had paralyzed learning in all 42 public...
Still on headline stories, deadly landslides triggered by heavy overnight rains have devastated Uganda's Sebei sub-region, prompting urgent government intervention to relocate affected families to safer areas. Landslides struck villages in Kwen and Kapchorwa districts, where a boulder crushed a home, killing 4 people. The government, through the Office of the Prime Minister and the Uganda Red Cross Society, has begun relocating survivors to temporary shelters in Kabelio Parish, Moyok Sub-County. Minister Hilary Onek and State Minister Lillian Aber reaffirmed commitments to both emergency relief and long-term resettlement.
Many, we tried to come, then we found that people who are inside this house, all of them were dead. Then the next household, which was there, there were 2 survivors. 2 of them survived, but
weekend 6 people died.
Now moving on to the world of sports, Bwekula made history in winning their first ever Masaza Cup title in 2025, defeating Singo 1-0 in a tightly contested final held at Wankululu Stadium. The decisive goal came from striker Sharif Sengando in the 38th minute, sealing a memorable victory from the team and their fans. The match was attended by thousands, including Buganda Kingdom officials, and was marked by passionate support and disciplined play. Bwekula's triumph ended years of near misses and was celebrated as a major milestone in the prestigious Buganda Kingdom football tournament. In athletics, Kenyan and Ethiopian runners continued their dominance in international marathon this week with standout performances at both the Istanbul and Lagos city marathons. In Istanbul, Kenya's Ronzes Lokitam Kilimo won the race, while Ethiopia's Bizuager Adair claimed the women's title, leading a podium filled with East African athletes. Meanwhile, at the 2025 Lagos City Marathon, Kenya's Edwin Kibet Koech secured his second title, and Ethiopia's Guta Meseret Harper triumphed in the women's category. These victories reaffirm East Africa's global reputation as a powerhouse in long-distance running.
The 47th Istanbul Marathon on Sunday, Kilimo won the men's race in 2 hours, 10 minutes and 12 seconds. He finished ahead of Ethiopian racers Dejene Debela and Sufaro Olivi Kebato. Kenya and Ethiopia also dominated the podium in the women's division. Adira claimed the top spot with a time of 2 hours, 26 minutes and 19 seconds. Behind her were her compatriot Sophia Asefa Abebe and Kenya's Joan Jepkosgei Kilimo. Over 41,000 participants from 126 countries took part in this edition of the race. Runners were able to compete in 4 categories, including the 42 kilometers marathon. The Istanbul event is known as the only marathon in the world to take place over 2 continents, with racers crossing from Asia to Europe.
Still on sports news, Kylian Mbappe clinched the Golden Boot in 2025, solidifying his status as one of the football's elite scorers. The French forward earned the award after a stellar performance season with Paris Saint-Germain and a dominant performance in international competitions where he consistently found the back of the net. His pace, precision and finishing ability set him apart, making him the top scorer across all major tournaments. This achievement adds to his growing legacy as he continues to break records and lead both club and country with remarkable consistency.
La Bota de Oro 2024-2025, el jugador del Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappé.
Now that is what we have for you today at the weekly roundup. Make sure that you're watching us on our social media platforms. I'll repeat once again, the Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and also Facebook. My name is Patience Rehema. Until next time, for the people who are contesting for Battle of Talent, I wish you all the best. Until next time, reporting today, shaping tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Endelea kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu. Mama TV tugabane
siba kweno yeriko byonna tugabane twagalane. Mama TV yeriko byonna
elage bino nebizimbe biri obwemyoyo elaga mawanga Afrika yona yona. Endelea
kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu.
Endelea
kufuatilia hili Mama TV ina kila kitu.
Mama TV, twende basi. Emikutu jona jona tuliyo buliyo
follow, like, comment. Tusange ku Star Times channel 243 ne ku free to air. Mama TV Uganda, tugabane twagalane.